Today, we're going to make meatballs the way my grandmother would make them. My grandmother was born in Calabria. Okay, so I'm sure in different regions of Italy, they probably had their own way of making meatballs. Okay, so this is the way she made them. She came here when she was 16 years old. And what I'll be using is just beef today. Some people use a mixture of beef, veal, and pork. For religious or dietary reasons, I didn't put any pork into this. It's just beef. She used breadcrumbs. You know, French people made bread pudding out of stale bread. They recycled it. Italian people would grind the bread up to make breadcrumbs. Some people take bread today and they soak it in milk. They squeeze it out and they put that in the mixture to make meatballs. She never did that. I think most of the small farms in Italy didn't have cows. So milk wasn't readily accessible, but bread was, and stale bread was always around. The other ingredient is Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese, eggs, 2 eggs from my chickens, garlic from my garden, and parsley. We're going to mix that all together. And it's like I have 3 pounds of meat here. So if you were to make this at home for yourself, if you use 1 pound of meat, would put in a half a cup of breadcrumbs. This is a cup and a half, and a quarter of a cup of grated cheese. This is 3/4 of a cup of grated cheese. The garlic I'm going to smash here and dice up as quickly as I can. I made what's in the pot are the meatballs that I made yesterday for today. So those are done. And what I plan to do today is to make these meatballs, put them in the oven to cook, put the pasta on to cook. You can eat the half rigatoni pizza pasta and the meatballs while these cook. These will take about 20 minutes in the oven. I cook them in the oven. Most of the times they fried them in frying pans in olive oil. I mean, it messes the top of my stove if I fry them in a frying pan. And it's a lot easier to just do it in the oven, I think. And I just line the cookie sheet with aluminum foil, you can see that. And I have some extra virgin olive oil in the container. It doesn't have to be extra virgin olive oil, just something to prevent them from sticking. I'm going to spread that around on the aluminum foil. And like I said, bake them for 20 minutes. That should be more than enough time. Some people will make the meatballs, they'll form them, and they'll drop them into the sauce on top of the stove and let it cook in the sauce. I kind of don't do that because I like to make sure that they're cooked. They're cooked. And after they came out of the oven yesterday, I sacrificed one to taste to make sure it was cooked. I know, it was a tough situation. And then this morning, when I took that bowl of meatballs out of the refrigerator, I put them in the pot. I took the pot out of the refrigerator, and again, when they came up to temperature, I just had a sample one to make sure they didn't change overnight, which they probably didn't. Okay, I think I have enough garlic here. I'm not going to do the rest of it. So I'm just going to mince this up. You can put garlic in, or you can forget garlic if you don't really like garlic. You know, it's not really necessary. Or if you buy it in the store, you can buy it already minced in a jar. It's easy, very easy to use. My mother gave my wife Geraldine the recipe to make meatballs, and she didn't mention garlic, right? Where is she? Hi. Right, Jerry?
Yeah, I never used the garlic until I found out that she was giving me so many recipes to go with.
And the other classic trick is if you get one of those meatballs and there happens to be a whole clove of garlic in the center of the meatball, that means you have to wash all the pots and pans. Okay. Okay, so garlic is in there. That's as much of it as I'm going to use. The parsley I picked this morning. So I'm going to mince up and then slice up some of the parsley. I have to be careful. Last time I tried to do this, I had pieces of rubber glove in the parsley. Not yesterday. It wasn't yesterday. It was another time. And honestly, I don't wear gloves at home when I do this. I just make sure my hands are washed. That will probably do it. If you don't have fresh parsley, dried parsley flakes are just as good. You can do that. Use that. So yesterday, when I made the meatballs yesterday, I started at like 10 minutes to 10. And I think I had 30 or 35 meatballs in the cookie sheet at about 20 past 10. So it's not a big deal. And the other thing is, we've made the same mix and just shaped it into a loaf and baked it in the oven and used that as meatloaf. And you can put bacon slices on top of it if that's what you want to do, but it's kind of multi-purpose use of it. And usually when I make gravy, as we call it, at home, I usually have pork sausages in it that I make myself. But that would be a little bit too difficult to demonstrate. Too much work, too much time. I'd never make the time limit. Okay. Ethan's filming this, by the way, so hopefully things will work out well. Who was here when we tried to make pasta? Remember the hand crank machine and the dough was way too loose and a total failure. That was the first time. The second time I think we had David from California, also known as Mario. He helped out as a surprise. He had no idea he was going to come up and help me. So normally I just have my bare hands in this and I'm mixing it by hand, but I thought I would try to look half professional today and not do that. So I'm going to try to get all this dry stuff mixed in with the meat. Then I'm going to crack both eggs and put them in. And I may wish I had taken 3 eggs, I'm not sure, but yesterday I did 3 pounds of meat and 2 eggs seemed to be enough, just to make it a little bit moist and to bind it all together. Once I was overzealous at home, I had too many eggs in it, and when I baked them, it looked like they were sitting on top of part of a fried egg. A little ring of egg around the bottom. Who was that? How many folks have been to Italy at all? Good number. Good number. I had one grandfather who came from Sicily. One grandfather that came from the province of Avellino, a small town in that province. It's near Naples. Grandmother that came from Calabria, and my other grandmother came from Roslindale. Not quite Italy, but her parents all came from the province of Avellino. And when I retired, I actually applied for and got Italian citizenship. So I have dual citizenship. I have, of course, I'm an American citizen, and I am an Italian citizen. I have a European Union passport as well as an American passport. I really didn't do it for an advantage. I think the one time I used it, we got to the airport in Rome, and the line to check through customs for non-European passport people was pretty long, and the European Union line was very short. So I told Jerry, you check through normal way, I'll use the European Union passport, and I will get through, I'll reach with the baggage claim. And then I had second thoughts. I checked through and I was thinking, you know, people know I left the United States, but no one knows I arrived in Italy on the American passport. So I was kind of thinking about that. But it came in handy if I got stopped by the police in Italy, I'd show them the European Union passport. Tina, what do you use when you make meatballs for meat?
What do I use the pork veal and hamburger.
The combination, yeah. Most people do.
It's just got a different taste to it.
It does. It does. And I think you know, if you use the leanest beef, 93%, I think you're better off with 85%. I think a little bit of fat adds more flavor to it. And if it was just lean, they'd probably end up being as hard as a rock.
Yeah. More flavor to them. You gotta have some fat in it.
When I made the sauce yesterday, I started it with just extra virgin olive oil, some red pepper flakes from the red peppers I grew last year that I dried out, and garlic, minced garlic, and that was it. Tomatoes, I did not use tomatoes I put up this year. I used Pastine ground peeled kitchen ready tomatoes because I thought it would be easier. Alright, we're almost there.
Joe just made 30 jars of sauce from much meat.
Really? Did you grind them or? Yeah? I've got the machine to do it. This year I got some tomatoes and I actually just cut a cross in the bottom and I boil them long enough to have the skin peel off. And I cut them up into pieces. I cut the top off, the stem part off, and I put them in jars. Other years I was with a friend and he had a really good machine. You'd essentially cook the tomatoes, the plum tomatoes, quite a while, and then put them through the machine. And it was like a meat grinder with a long tube in front. And the pulp would come out the side, and out of the end would drop the seeds and the skins. And we'd take the pulp and collect it and add salt, a little bit of salt. Then we'd put basil leaves in the quart mason jars, and then put the tomato in it, seal it, and then put it back into the water and get it up to a boil for about 45 minutes, and that would be enough to seal it. So it's a labor of love. I mean, every time we've gone back to Italy, I usually help the people we visit, if the season is right, when they conserve tomatoes. And they don't use mason jars, at least these people don't. They reuse beer bottles, glass bottles, and they put bottle caps on it. Not the way we do it. All right, this looks about ready. So I have the olive oil. I'm gonna drizzle out here. Oh, you know what, Kathy?
Yes,
You want to throw the pasta in here,
sure.
please? I've got a bag of salt that you can toss in first. Both things are open.
Now?
Yeah.
Did you already put the salt in or am I pinching it?
No, it's right there. It's in the
You want
bag.
that
It's in the
whole
bag.
thing
Yeah. Please.
Okay. Both of the boxes filled?
Yeah, I think so. Ethan, I said I wasn't going to move, but I did. Sorry. So I'm just going to spread this oil around. film, I'd probably be doing this with my fingers.
Can I do anything else?
No, that should be it. Did Cindy buy bread?
Yeah. Yeah,
It has to be sliced?
they're gonna do it.
Sure. Okay, so, you know, this is about it. I mean, I try to make them all the same size. Sometimes they're not, but I try. Okay? If I'm lucky, I'll get 5 across. Turns into a silent movie. Yeah, we should have put background music down.
Bill, so the meat inside meat no salt, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't put salt. I didn't put salt or pepper in it. I was thinking that the Parmesan cheese is probably salty enough,
I
and I didn't want to put more salt on top of that. I mean, wouldn't be a bad thing to do, but I think health-wise, my own health, I didn't want to have that much salt in it. Good question. Good question. May, you have to do a cooking lesson sometime.
No, I don't know.
Huh?
Another question is, can I using olive oil substitute for the Parmesan cheese?
In here, in with the meat? Yeah, I don't know. I think the meat would probably be, they'd probably be too loose. They may not stick together as meatballs, I'm thinking. What do you think, Tina? Tina, what would you say?
Oil instead of what?
Instead of the cheese?
Cheese?
Oh,
No?
No, it wouldn't
No,
work.
that would be more sense.
no. Yeah, you want the regular cheese. The oil will make it too tasty, I would think.
If you like it, you don't have to worry about what it is.
We like,
Well, if you don't want to eat the meatballs today with the cheese, give them to Yang. He'll eat them for you.
It is just a matter of the,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Cheese is good.
Yeah, cheese is good.
I love cheese.
So in the background, Cindy and Kathy, you're gonna mix a salad together. I put some salad dressing together this morning, slice some bread. So you'll get to eat pasta and meatballs. And when these come out of the oven, we should be done eating by then, I think. You might be able to take a couple of meatballs home. John? Yesterday I baked them at 350, good question, 350 degrees, and I timed them for 20 minutes. And then, like I said, I had to cut one up and eat it. See if it was- At least cut it up at first to make sure it was done. And they were done. So, yeah, you ought to check it. You really ought to check it to make sure. I'll try to do this a little. I'm making them a little bit larger, but just for the sake of time, I think. So it's not that difficult to do. It's not that difficult to do. So did anyone have any ideas if we did this again? Any ideas of what you'd like to, any ideas of what you'd like to make that we can do within like a half an hour or so, half an hour, 40? How long would you bake it though? I mean, we used to make eggplant, we used to slice the eggplant, salt it, put a weight on it to let some of the water come out of it, squeeze it a little bit, and I mean, that could be done ahead of time, I suppose, and then the layering of it and then baking it. I thought
What
of
else
that.
do you make that can cook in 30 minutes or?
Over the weekend, I made like, almost like a vegetable soup, but it was a little bit heavier than a soup. It was just all vegetables. Carrots, celery, I used escarole as a leafy vegetable, onion, garlic, and flat string beans, Italian string beans, and frozen peas. And I did that in chicken broth with a little bit of tomato for color. And it's good just like that, or I was trying to leave it like that. I also cooked some pasta with it that you could.
Pasta vazul, is that?
No, not if we use canned beans. It would be pretty, or even if I did, well, if I soaked beans overnight, you wouldn't learn anything from that. But I've done it with canned beans. Oh, I also had chickpeas inside the vegetable soup that I made. We could do that. I could make some in advance, like I did this stuff, and then we just put it all together here. I mean, it's mostly just chopping vegetables and stuff like that, but it's an exercise. If anyone wasn't here when I did it, I did, once we made linguine pasta, and I sliced up boneless, skinless chicken breast and fried that in olive oil, a little bit of olive oil and butter. And then we added lemon juice to it, and chicken stock, and artichokes cut in quarters, and mushrooms and capers.
Okay.
And then we got the linguine and we cooked it, because I mean, when you make pasta fresh, it cooks in minutes. It's not like fried pasta. And we just served that. That sort of, I had that at an Italian restaurant someplace, and just by the taste of it, I kind of like reverse engineered it to figure out. It wasn't too difficult to guess what was in it. I think Josephine Antico was talking about, she said she makes excellent biscottis. And I was thinking about that. You've had them?
Yeah, basic or Italian.
I was thinking that
Who does that?
you'd need more time, I think. Because I think you have to mix the dough together, you have to bake it as a loaf, you have to let it cool, you have to slice it, and you have to, biscotti means cook twice, bake twice. So you cook it as a loaf, you cut it into slices, you put them on a cookie sheet, you put them back in the oven, and it's like 40 minutes of cooking time. And then
How about focaccia? That's pretty quick, right?
if the dough was made, it would be pretty quick. You just poke holes in it, punch holes in it, and put whatever topping you're going to put on it. Maybe I was thinking of maybe like appetizers, like stuffed mushrooms we could do. We could slice up some Italian bread, toast it lightly, rub it with garlic, and put up diced tomatoes on it, like a bruschetta. I make what I think is an awesome chickpea salad. I am crazy about chickpeas. It's chickpeas, extra virgin olive oil, red onions, and mint, olive oil and lemon. And that's something I never seem to have leftovers when I make it. It disappears.
Do you want the chickpeas?
Um,
Or maybe just fill it right out of the can?
No, I take them, I've done them from dried chickpeas, but I'll take them out of the can, put them in a strainer and rinse them, and then just put that in the bowl. I usually, if I'm gonna serve it to someone, I do it the day before, because I think it's better with, it's sort of marinated overnight in the olive oil and lemon juice.
You ever just let the chickpeas go on, like heat them up and put a little bit pepper and olive oil on them?
Tina, if I'm hungry at lunchtime, I'll open up a can of chickpeas, I'll put it in the bowl, I'll put some olive oil on top of it, sprinkle some red pepper flakes on it, some olive oil, I'll put it in the microwave, and I'll eat it like that. If I'm really industrious and not trying to lose weight, I'll throw it on top of pasta. I mean, all right, so this didn't take too long. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, only because I made them larger. So I'm guessing it's gonna take longer than 20 minutes, so. You need to choose to hang around to make sure they're done, because if you don't, I'm gonna take them home. All right. So why didn't I preheat the oven? Tell me. Because I forgot. So that'll take even longer. Excuse me, ladies. It was boiling like crazy before.
I like it. That's high large. Yeah, high large.
Oven?
on high or you want it?
High, we need it high now. Okay, what do you
Oh,
want?
big. Big.
350?
350.
What do you
Awesome.
want now?
350.
Sorry,
Perfect.
yeah, but
Perfect. Yeah, that would be good. Try to get them out of here earlier. So when that comes up to temperature, we'll kind of time it after that. But as far as making meatballs is concerned, I think we can conclude the video.